Hello, and thank you for choosing to become a Pencilhouse volunteer critic. We're so grateful for your interest and enthusiasm for our project. In this short video, we'll be talking about the hows, the whats, and the wherefores of preparing feedback with Pencilhouse. You can think of this as an accompaniment to our volunteer handbook, which is available at pencilhouse.org. To start, Pencilhouse works on a rotating monthly schedule. We open submissions at the beginning of each month, and once we fill our submissions cap, we close and distribute submitter work to our volunteer critics. This usually happens around the 4th of each month. From there, our volunteer critics read and prepare their feedback and return it completed on or around the 21st of the same month, and then we distribute that feedback back to submitters. Towards the end of the month, we'll reach out to you for availability in the next month's round of submissions, and then the cycle repeats. If you've got any questions about this that aren't answered in the volunteer handbook, just reach out and we'll be happy to help. We use Google Drive to handle files and primarily communicate by email. We'll send you a link to a Drive folder containing your reading, as well as any reading notes that the submitter has provided. From there, you'll prepare your feedback and place it in the same Drive folder. We prefer Word, GDocs, or PDF as it comes to document formats. It's really as simple as that. There are loads of ways to write back on folks' creative works, and there are many guides, handbooks, suggestions, websites, workshops, methods, etc. available out in the wild. There are as many approaches to feedback out there as there are writers, and that's okay. We're not interested in prescribing a nailed-down, complicated method to provide feedback. Instead, what we look for in the feedback we provide to writers is actually quite simple. First things first, Pencilhouse believes that when it comes to feedback, quality supersedes format. That said, an understanding in brief of what we typically provide will no doubt be helpful. In general, Pencilhouse provides line or margin notes on submissions and an accompanying set of higher-level comments about the piece we've read. We do allow pretty liberal flexibility as it comes to the formatting of feedback, provided the depth and content of it meets the submitter's needs. For example, some of our volunteer critics place their longer-form comments in the submission document at the beginning or the end. Others put their higher-level commentary in the document comments alongside their margin notes. Some folks prefer to print out and handwrite margin notes and provide their comments as a separate document. All of these methods are fine. Depth and specificity ultimately are what's key here. You don't have to be a college professor, have an MFA, or even be published to be able to read deeply and provide a thoughtful, encouraging response, but you do have to care. Along that line, Pencilhouse does provide a set of should/shouldn't guidelines as it comes to preparing feedback. Beginning with the shoulds. Feedback should engage directly with the text. Use the text as its own example when you can. Quote from it. Refer to the piece in specifics. Feedback should point out what the reader notices. What techniques are being used? What patterns are emerging in the piece? Are there characteristics of what's on the page? Are there visual elements at work? This is an exercise you're doing, so it's worth making it as beneficial for you as it is for the writer. Feedback should discuss craft in some fashion in terms of the piece. Feedback is ultimately writing about writing, so discussing technique and approach in terms of what's on the page is super valuable for everyone wherever possible. Feedback should harbor only good intentions. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're all just trying to help here. Finally, feedback should make the writer want to keep writing. Be encouraging. Writing is hard work. Do your best to be on the submitter's side as it comes to their writing journey, no matter what stage they're at. That's not to say you shouldn't be honest, but it's important to deliver that honesty in a way that doesn't drive somebody away from the act of writing. Moving on to the shouldn'ts. Feedback shouldn't deal exclusively with the reader's tastes and dislikes. It's okay to not like something, but you want to explore the why and try to focus on how the work might be improved. Feedback shouldn't stop at quote-unquote, I didn't get it. Not getting it isn't always a problem with the writing. That's worth exploring and discussing in a piece. If there's something that we don't get, being able to articulate why we don't get it is really the thing that's likely to help the writer sharpen their piece. Feedback shouldn't primarily serve to rewrite. We've specifically gotten submitter comments expressing distaste for that approach. While it's true that different editors have different styles and approaches, simply providing a rewrite for its own sake doesn't actually offer much in the way of craft development. Finally, feedback shouldn't speak in generalities about craft without a direct connection to what's in the text. This goes back to using the text as its own example. Connect the ideas on the page to the act of writing. Feedback is meant for us to help each other to learn to engage with our own creativity more skillfully, and the best way to stay sharp is with specificity. Well, that does it for this volunteer welcome video. Again, if you've got any questions or needs, please don't hesitate to reach out to us through our website at pencilhouse.org or by email at info@pencilhouse.org. We're always looking to add volunteers, so tell your friends, family, teachers, fellow students, writers, and editors. Adding volunteers to our pool helps Pencilhouse to grow its submissions capacity each month. Again, thank you for taking the step to become a Pencilhouse volunteer critic. You're truly the lifeblood of our organization, and we could not be more grateful for your help.